Another increase for water and sewer rates. We'll tell you why. Continued efforts to save the city time and money, and find out why the cost of building sidewalks is going up for some residents. We invite you to join us now as we take you inside City Hall this week. Hello, I'm Amy Blaylock. Welcome to City Hall this week, dedicated to keeping you informed about what's going on inside Durham City Hall. Durham's water and sewer rates will be going up at moderate increments based on your level of water use. The city implemented the annual increases several years ago to pay for debt service and capital projects needed to keep the water and sewer system running. During its April 19th work session, the City Council heard from the Water Management Department about where the money from those increases has been going and why more rate increases are needed in next year's budget and in the future. Over the past year, $35 million in improvements have been made at the water treatment plants and the water reclamation facilities. The most work has been completed at the North Durham plant.
We expanded out a new biosolids pad cover, which was completed in the fall, and that was needed over the winter. It was a wet winter, so we couldn't take any of our biosolids and apply them to our land apply our sludge. So our sludge pads got full. Unfortunately, with the nice weather, we had a break and we were able to clean the pads off. So that cover came in handy, and that saved us having all the cost of having to dispose of that in the landfill. In addition, we have the new aeration basin came online. The 2.7 million gallon aeration basin gives us 6 basins there to be able to handle wet weather better. The new UV facility was constructed to replace the old UV, and we fixed the concrete and structural defects that happened at the pretreatment facility, and also with replacing the steel and repainting of our clarifier. So you can see we did a lot of work at the North Durham plant, and to really take care of some ongoing needs.
The North Durham plant serves half of Durham's residents and businesses.
It just shows you what a big impact that the small increases that we've had in the past, and what a great impact they've made at our facilities. And
to continue those types of improvements, the Water Management Department outlined why just over $31 million is needed in this coming year's budget and how it plans to raise that money.
Increases to both the water and sewer service charges, a modest increase to the water consumption charges, an increase to the sewer consumption charges. Of course, different customers based on their usage will see different rates. The highest impacts will be, of course, for dollar figures, will be at the higher tiers, and we'll continue the tier 3 rates on the non-residential accounts, and we'll continue the double outside rates.
So here's what the rate increase for next year would look like.
We're increasing the service charge on the water from $5.56 up to $5.77 for an increase of 22 cents. Minor increases, just a couple pennies on the volumetric charges for water, a 24-cent increase on the service charge for sewer, and 11 cents increase on the volume charge for sewer.
What do those increases mean for the average residential customer based on the water usage tier system?
For tier 1, it's 56 cents for a typical customer in that class, 89 cents for a tier 2 customer, $1.26 for a tier 3 customer, $1.80 in a tier 4 customer, and $3.25 for a tier 5 customer.
Increases that will bring in an additional nearly $2 million of revenue that will ultimately have a long-lasting impact on the city's water and sewer system.
We're able to cover all our operating and maintenance costs, continue to fund the rehabilitation renewal costs that we have through our CIP program, provide sources for pay-as-you-go funding, limit the need for large revenue bond spending, keep rates low for over an extended period of time as opposed to having rate shock to our customers, and continue to keep our financial position with the utility in the city strong.
2 large revenue bond issues are expected in fiscal years 2014 and 16 to pay for even more extensive improvements needed to meet the Falls and Jordan Lake rules. Meantime, the buffer around the Little River Reservoir is continuing to grow. The city will pay $737,000 to buy 93 acres of vacant land located on Snow Hill Road and Vintage Hill Parkway. The purchase will continue to expand the buffer on the western edge of the Little River Reservoir, in turn helping to protect the site from future development or logging, both of which can cause off-site water quality problems. Acquisitions such as this are part of the Little River Corridor Open Space Plan, which focuses on preservation of properties for a variety of reasons. Those include water quality protection, significant rare plant and animal habitats, historic and culturally significant areas, and areas of scenic importance. The city is making more progress in its efforts to work as efficiently and effectively as possible, this time when it comes to water and sewer installation and water, sewer, and street construction. The City Council approved a $392,000 contract for geotechnical exploration and testing services. It also includes updating the city construction specifications and standard details for water, sewer, and street construction.
City of Durham has got a contract going forward with a consultant for a 3-phase contract. The first phase is going to be for geotechnical services. The second phase is going to be rewriting our details for construction specifications. And the third part is going to be for rewriting and giving us software for construction estimation.
The ability to have this type of work done is expected to greatly benefit water and sewer petition projects already scheduled for design, as well as future projects.
Most of the construction we do in public works is going to be underground, water and sewer construction. And if anybody knows the soils around Durham, they know that it's difficult to find rock and where the rock is. Durham's got plenty of it. We've got plenty of clays and that sort of thing. It's difficult for us to estimate where that rock is located. Rock is the most expensive part of the construction. So what we want to do is find out where that rock is. And with the geotechnical services, we can drill down and find that rock ahead of time and include that in our construction estimate.
Efficiency that will also be evident by updating the construction specifications and standard details for water, sewer, and street construction.
We are updating our construction specifications because currently they're about 20 years old. Right now they're dated 1994, and we want to use more current standards.
The third element included in the contract is the development of a computer application to help better estimate the cost of construction.
It's a software program to determine the historical data on previous bids. This will help us better determine future bids and make a tighter estimate in the future on future contracts.
Ultimately, doing all 3 of these things with a consultant is expected to make the Public Works Department more cost-effective in the way it spends your taxpayer money. The price of building new sidewalks that are requested by residents is going up for the residents. There are actually 4 ways that sidewalks can be built within the city. Here's a look at what those are.
The first one is a developer can build it. The second one is the city walks plan. Projects can be ordered through council. Also, the city council can order a sidewalk through Enabling Act authority. And finally, citizens can petition for a sidewalk to be built, and city council would order that that be so.
In order to continue building resident-requested sidewalks, the City Council approved raising the sidewalk assessment rate.
The existing rate for sidewalks is $5 a linear foot, and the new proposed rate would be $35 a linear foot.
The new rate is based on 90% of the average construction cost of $39 per square foot.
The last time the rate was raised was in 1985, and as you can see from the gray in my beard, that was a long time ago. A lot of things have changed. The cost of materials, cost of labor, cost of construction, cost of land, the regulations have even changed. And all of those things basically cause the price and the difficulty of building sidewalk to go up. And since it's been 1985 since the last sidewalk rate was raised, all of those costs over time have continued. And so that's basically the reason for it.
So here's how it would work if you're a private property owner wanting to request a new sidewalk.
The city residents would call the engineering services group of the Public Works Department, a group that actually works for me, and they would request a petition package. They would come in and meet with our folks, and we would talk about the limits of the petition project for Sidewalk. And then they would take that petition, they would go out and try and acquire all the necessary signatures of all the property owners in that petition area. And when they bring that in, if the petition is validated, they have enough signatures to go forward, they would enter into the process, and City Council would order the improvements to be done. They would be designed and built and constructed by the Public Works Department.
Any sidewalk assessment levied under the new rate will have a payback period of 8 years. The new rate goes into effect on June 1st. Folks living on Harvard Avenue now know how much they'll have to pay for recent improvements made to their street. Find out what the cost will be to them and how long they'll have to pay it off when City Hall This Week continues.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back. Residents on Durham's Harvard Avenue won't have to pay the city back quite as quickly for recent improvements made to their street. The City Council adopted a resolution at its May 7th meeting establishing financial hardship criteria for the Harvard Avenue special assessments. The assessments were levied after a number of improvements were made from South Benjamin Street to Miami Boulevard.
Harvard Avenue was just a dusty gravel road. Now it's a paved street with curb and gutter. It also has some water quality devices. You can tell those because you can see crepe myrtles associated with them, and they help to strip out the oils that come off the street. And also we constructed a new sidewalk as part of the project.
During recent public hearings, the city heard from Harvard Avenue residents saying that they could not meet the terms of payment for this particular assessment.
A typical assessment is $45 per linear foot. So if you had a lot that was 100 foot wide, you just take that 100 and multiply it times 45 to give you that $4,500. The interest rate's set at 7.5%, and that's paid at annually over 8 years.
In response to residents' comments, the council adopted the resolution that establishes specific financial hardship criteria for Harvard Avenue.
And it's very simple. If you are a property owner within the project limits of Harvard Avenue, then you're qualified as a part of the hardship policy.
As a result, Harvard Avenue property owners will now have longer to pay the city back.
The hardship policy criteria, it would lower the interest rate to prime, and then you would be allowed 15 years to pay it back. And currently prime rate is about 3.25%. And it's important to note that the property owners has to apply in order to be eligible to be a part of the hardship criteria.
For more information, visit the Public Works Department homepage on the city's website. The city is taking the next step in making sure the business improvement district in downtown is ready to move forward. A business improvement district is a defined geographic area where property owners pay an additional tax. That tax funds a variety of services that enhance existing city services within the district's boundaries. The City Council established the district in downtown last year. During its May 7th meeting, it approved a $630,000 contract with Downtown Durham Incorporated to perform those enhanced services. Services that are expected to make downtown more attractive for economic development, as well as to help attract more visitors. The tax rate for the business district has not been set yet by the City Council. Businesses that own billboards or roadside businesses in Durham now have to go through a more stringent process for removing vegetation around those billboards or businesses. The City Council received a presentation on the state's new Selective Vegetation Removal Permit program during its April 19th work session.
In July of 2011, the state legislature passed a rule that requires folks who have billboards or roadside businesses to ask for a selective vegetation removal permit if they want to remove vegetation from within the right-of-way.
The NCDOT put temporary rules governing the permitting process into effect on March 1st.
The additional clearing within the right-of-way is about 100 feet extra in the back of the right-of-way by the sign, and in the front of the right-of-way, instead of 250 feet now, they're allowed to clear up to 340 feet within a limited access right-of-way. So it's sort of an odd-shaped clearing area.
The new rules apply to billboards and roadside businesses along state and federal highways and are different from the previous rules in several ways.
Or that now the clear cutting is allowed. Before they had to leave the larger trees. The cut zone has increased, as I said, and if there are any larger trees being removed, they do have to provide mitigation or payment, or they can also do revegetation. The cities are now notified. Mr. Medlin, the planning director, has put us on the list for notification for both the city and county of Durham, and this is something new that we were not notified previously. They do, however, have an exception for large dogwoods and redbuds, and that's anything over 4 inches in caliper.
The planning department does get a 30-day review and comment period when a request is submitted, and it also has to make a recommendation to the state during that time.
The main issues that we are allowed to comment on are the screening of the signs in the businesses. In other words, if you're clearing the vegetation and it's opening up the views to an on-site sign already or another business, that's a problem. If the vegetation is being removed as part of a beautification project, we can comment on that, or if there are any safety concerns. There are an issue of existing utilities within state right-of-way, but those are not covered by the legislation. However, our Public Works Department has raised those issues in a couple of instances.
The city has received 5 applications for vegetation removal since the rules went into effect. No major issues have been identified with any of those requests. Durham's Ben Bay Cultural Arts Festival is just around the corner. Find out why this year's event is one you don't want to miss when City Hall This Week continues.
Get on board the Bull City Connector, a fare-free route connecting Durham from the innovation of Duke to the history of downtown to the creativity of Golden Belt. The Bull City Connector is fare-free, frequent, and fun, connecting visitors, business travelers, students, and downtown workers to key destinations in and around Durham. So get on board the Bull City Connector Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to midnight, plus Saturdays and holidays. For more information, call 485-RIDE or visit bullcityconnector.org.
Welcome back. Great things are happening for the Durham Police Athletic League, or PAL program.
The Durham Police Athletic League is a community policing concept designed to bring police athletic leagues to the inner city Durham youth. And we try to offer these programs free so we can offer them to youth who might not otherwise get a chance to participate in sports.
The program has several goals, all working toward the department's overall concept of community policing.
The PALS program is designed to put police officers in the communities with our youth so they can see us in a non-enforcement capacity. Very often when our youth encounter us, we're doing our jobs, we're writing tickets, we're taking people to jail. And so that's the impression that they get of us. We want, through PALS, we want our youth to see us as individuals who do a job, but we also care about them as individuals and we want them to be successful. Through PALS, we hope to build positive rapport in the communities. We hope to build bridges between the community and the police department and make positive impressions on our youth in the process.
To further those goals, the police department will use a $15,000 National PAL Mentoring Initiative grant to expand its PAL program to include a mentoring component for youth.
We applied for a PALS grant back in January, and we received notification in February that we received the grant. And the program is designed to have 40 youth aged 11 to 18 participating in a mentoring program with a 3-to-1 ratio mentor to mentee. It will be a site-based program housed at our various schools and boys and girls centers.
Youth participating in the program will take part in positive development activities, providing greater opportunities for mentoring and academic achievement.
We want to provide, first of all, site-based mentoring. We will deal with their goals and chart goals as to where they want to be and how to get there. One of the things that I'm really excited about is that we will have a character education curriculum as part of the mentoring program, where we will be teaching core values such as honesty, respect, being assertive, and things of that nature.
At least 30 Durham police officers volunteer with PALS, but more involvement from the community is still needed in order for the program to grow.
We want to expand the program. Right now, we only have one officer assigned to the program. We have partnered up with 3 other agencies, the Durham Bulls Youth Athletic League, Durham Public Schools, and Soccer United. And we're currently bringing soccer. First of all, we're doing baseball in the spring. We're doing soccer in the fall. We're doing basketball in the wintertime. And we're also doing a league in the summer for kids age 15 to 18 as well. So we want to expand those programs. We want to track our youth so we can see where they're going, see how effective the program is being.
On a side note, the City Council has approved the police department's use of up to $25,000 in Pell Grant funding annually to be used at the department's discretion. It's a move that's expected to allow the PAL program to operate more efficiently because of all of its funding is provided through grants. If you want to take part in one of Durham's most prominent traditions, you'll want to mark your calendars now for the 43rd Annual Bembe Cultural Arts Festival. The free event will be held on Saturday, May 19th at the CCB Plaza in downtown from noon until 8 p.m.
Bembe was established in honor of a West African tradition of the season of harvest and celebration. After the season of harvest, the villagers would gather to celebrate and give thanks through dancing, praise, and singing. And Durham continues that celebration today through our Bembe Cultural Arts Festival.
The festival's activities feature something for everyone, including music, dance, great food, arts and crafts, and an interactive kids area. There will also be a number of activities taking place throughout the city during the week leading up to Bembe,
including a Hoop for Life Skills basketball classic, Brian Dawson's Celebrity All-Stars versus the Durham Police Department, Monday, May 14th from 7 to 9 at W.D. Hill Recreation Center on 1308 Fayetteville Street. We'll also have a poetry slam on Thursday, May 17th from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Durham Arts Council. Finally, we'll have a Bring It to the Floor Teen Talent Showcase on Friday, May 18th from 7 to 9 at the Holton Career and Resource Center on 401 North Driver Street.
Activities that give Durham residents of all ages a chance to learn about and embrace the city's unique and diverse traditions.
The Bembe Cultural Arts Festival was started by a group of students from Duke and Central in 1969, and the festival has resonated with Durham residents for over 42 years. It's a staple in Durham, it's been a part of Durham, and the purpose of the festival is for people to come out and learn about the African American traditions, history, and heritage. And we are very excited to be planning this event. Dougie Fresh is our headliner this year, and we're going to have a host of activities, and we hope people will come out and enjoy and learn about the different traditions of the African Americans in the Durham community.
For more information about the Bembe Festival, call 919-560-4355 or visit dprplaymore.org. Many of you say that the condition of Durham streets is still one of your top concerns. We'll show you how the city is listening and what we're doing about it when City Hall This Week continues.
Durham County is a large place. Children are small. We are young and we need a strong foundation for a successful future. You can help build that future now when we are learning and growing. Investing in our first 5 years makes the biggest difference later.
Durham's Partnership for Children is a nonprofit organization right here in Durham County. We support children from birth through age 5 and their families so that every child is ready for school. Future success for our children depends on community support now, in the early years.
Can we count on you to make children a priority? Will you help us succeed? Please visit us at dpfc.net.
Welcome back. If you're looking for a way to buy deeply discounted electric yard equipment, you'll want to mark your calendars for May 19th. That's when the City and County Sustainability Office, in partnership with Black & Decker, is holding the second of 2 Get Your Grass Off Gas events. The event will be held at Jordan High School from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. You can trade in your old gas-guzzling mowers and other yard equipment for steep discounts on cleaner and greener electric versions. You can even pre-register to reserve specific electric equipment. Simply visit greenerdurham.net. Maintenance of Durham streets is still a top concern for many of you. And while an increasing number of residents are more satisfied than they used to be with that particular city service, there's still more work to be done. At least that's what we found in the 2011 Resident Satisfaction Survey and our efforts to listen to what Durham is saying. Street maintenance is one of the 3 major categories of city services that residents think should receive the most emphasis from city leaders over the next 2 years.
You know, I think street maintenance is an important part of city services, and I think that just echoes the fact that people really value the condition of the streets. It's the one piece of infrastructure that people travel on a daily basis, and it's really connected to a lot of important activities in the city, whether it be revitalization of the downtown, just general business development for the city. So it definitely shows how people really appreciate streets and how important they think it is.
The survey shows that 36% of residents are satisfied with the overall maintenance of city streets compared to 31% in the 2009 survey.
I think because the City Council has really made the effort to go forward and make improvements to the streets by having the 2010 paving bonds and really showing a dedication to improving the condition of the streets within the city. So with the City Council's support between the bonds and also dedicating maintenance funds into the Public Works Department, that's really showing that the council is dedicated to improving the rideability of streets within the city.
With that type of support, the city is doing a number of things, both for the short and long terms, to improve street maintenance.
For the short term, the city's making a big investment in the equipment that we use in our street maintenance division in Public Works. So that should help with potholes being filled around the city on a daily basis. For the long term, the city is really looking at different options as far as how we design our streets. We're going forward with a geotechnical study that'll really look at what conditions exist in the subsurface around the city. And by looking at those geotechnical options that are available to us, we can actually design better streets that are better maintained for the long term.
Under the category of city maintenance, 34% of residents say they are satisfied with street repairs compared to 24% in the 2009 survey.
One improvement is that we've really coordinated with Durham One Call to provide us with a list of locations where citizens call in for street repairs. And also on a proactive basis, our street maintenance crews, once they identify a location that does need repairs, they'll go ahead and enter a service request on their own and make those repairs and identify any other deficiencies in the right-of-way while they're out doing that work.
Efforts that will add to future improvements, all geared toward increasing the level of satisfaction with street repairs.
Well, I think one big improvement will be that we're looking at different options for street maintenance functions and for street repaving. We can no longer just go with the traditional milling a street and then repaving it. We're looking at actual pavement preservation so that we can be more proactive with our maintenance and how we approach street maintenance in general. An attitude that is spreading throughout all city services, including when it comes to improving the quality of police protection. Find out what the city is doing to address perceptions of safety in our next What Durham is Saying segment. That does it for this edition of City Hall This Week. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to find out how you can tune into all the city's programming. You can also find us on demand on the city's website or on the city's YouTube channel. I'm Amy Blaylock. Thank you for joining us for City Hall This Week.